put a maintenance block there.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is our work session for month of November. Just give the flag salute, roll call. We have no recognition of meetings. I will recognize one guest we had here tonight. Congratulations, your mothers.
You're grounded.
Sure, what she does. So we'll try and make it fast and fair. October 8th, we have a regular meeting of the board, 7 to 7:31, executive session for personnel, 7:33 to 7:20. Athletic committee, November 3rd, 5:6. Next week, we will have prize and promises. And item B, the audit report for the end of the year ending June 30th, 2025. We can have that. Reports from the standing committees of the board. We're going to administrator's sheet. Mr. Sawyer or Sean?
I'll just say a couple things. We trained a driver who's on board now, Sylvia Bruschetta. She did a real good job all through training. I thought she was going to be, she just took off to full-time route now and doing good. We got one in, and we have a couple more guys. We're waiting for them to get their permits so we can start training them. So once we got one, it's a good candidate for a long time here.
At least there's some interest.
Yeah, she's doing very good. Got kids in the school, so this is good that she wants to be here and involved in the sports as a son. So for trips, it'll work out well. She's late, takes a lot of pictures too, puts them on Facebook, get all the sporting calls. It's Bruschetta, but it's got a bunch of letters and stuff. I think if you didn't try to pronounce it when it was on the paper, it's called Sylvia. Yeah, I have a cheat sheet on the desk that I just copy from if I can write it. Yeah, that's going good. We got a couple other ones. Hopefully we can get them in. Get a couple more people in, we'll be better set. But so far we're going pretty good. The buses that we were sending out for auction, we got them cleaned up, got the decals and stuff off of them, got them out 422 auto. So hopefully we can get a return on those. Went through, starting to get some of the buses and stuff ready for winter. Been working with the Route Finder program that we use for the bus routing. Actually has some added stuff to it. Hopefully I can get the behavioral reports actually with that. So we'll have correct information of kids' names, ages, and it will actually be an email. So we can get it sent to everybody pretty well instantly instead of a day or so lag and stuff. So hopefully we can get a good control on that. But everything seems to be falling in place and working fairly smooth right now.
I was stopped at a bus the other day. It must be one of our new ones, 104, 109. I'll tell you, those lights, are they LED lights?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not just the old blink.
Yes.
These things are crazy.
Yes. Yeah, I think when it's safer, you can see them from a distance. And,
Yeah, they do your
you got lots of LEDs, so if something happens, you're just going to burn out some instead of all LED.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Ford? Thank you, Mr. Jones.
We fired up the heat this month, so without a ton of problems. I talked to Mr. Richard about this. I think we got backfed power surge something through here because we've had stuff that I haven't seen or even asked Chuck about. He hasn't seen. Scoreboard went. We had 3 or 4 fuses on the 2 main drives downstairs that were burnt when we turned the boiler. They went light because pumps wouldn't turn. And then I also got on here. We repaired the rooftop air handler up on top of the old gym. It had 4 fuses blown out the old gym, the wrestling gym. There we go. So, yeah, and it actually, Park Ranger decided to contact it up there. So I'm not sure.
Do we have surge protectors? I assume there's some sort of.
There's some, but whatever, I don't know if it was backfed through or we might have got hit by lightning. I'm not sure what happened, but it wasn't easy, that's for sure. And then, Johnson Control actually come in. Since I've been here, we've never changed a computer or like a control module in a Univent. And we've had, I got 3 of them. He had 2 old ones in his van that we reprogrammed to work, but we're one shy that I need, and it's not going to be cheap. All the new stuff is, he pretty much told me we're at $800 to $1,000 for control just for one room. And then, we had well, Jen's aware of this battle with our, maintenance people to come in and take care of all our other stuff in the kitchen. We had problems with the combi oven last year. They got it fixed for the most part. It still pops every now and then. And another one started doing the same thing. Well, they put it on us. They put the computer module in, didn't fix it, made it actually worse. They told us we didn't have enough gas. Like, we had good pressure. They were talking like volume. And I brought Ronnie McClymonds in. We called the actual combi oven company, that Rationale company. And we walked through what we had per feet and what size inch, and he says, you're good. So he's now going to take over. They're going to do exactly what he says the next time they come in. I don't know how this is going to be with the billing. One's they're going to consider under warranty. The other one we're probably going to have to pay. But if we get it right, something's backfired in there and made bad problems. And we're not just going to keep throwing parts at it. So we went top side to fix it. So hopefully within the month that everything's back in order. But our end is not the problem. But I didn't realize how many BTUs we were actually burning in there. It's like 1.3 million in just that 2 rows of kitchens. Yeah. If everything was on wide open, we're just breaking, but we don't run everything at the same time. That's kind of what we come up with. So I don't think it's us. So we shall soon see.
It's like the scoreboard festival. Oh,
But
even in those back there.
well, that's what he said. He came up here, he put 2 control boards. There's 2 control boards in the scoreboard. Both of them are fried. And he even went up in and got the hand control up inside, all 3. And then that one, what was it, the last game? Because we got a brand new controller and it puked half, like the first quarter that didn't have runs. Yeah, well, they put, luckily we had to put the other one on, so it got back, set back. I don't believe, just my opinion, that half that stuff should be outside. It's not built for outside, but that's where it's going to live. There's nothing else. It's the same guts in that scoreboard that's what's on the wall inside the basketball in the gym.
Does that make any sense?
When you say back feet, like there's a short somewhere that's.
No, I'm just saying it's the weirdest thing you'll ever see because those run on pure power out there. It's all 110 in the scoreboard itself. And it's all LED lighting at this point. Like there's not bulbs in it like it used to be. The only thing that ties that scoreboard up into that press box is like your record player, that kind of plug that just has a single prong. So the only thing in between that and that control monitor up there was just that wire that's plugged in. So something, that's what I'm saying. If lightning would have hit the board, they would have sent it back that plug and
Rode that wire apart.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even if it was a little bit, because there's hardly anything traveling through it. Basically a sound type. It's not power. Very. So anything would have tripped it.
That's what everybody in the game's going, oh, they need a new scoreboard. I'm thinking, I don't think the warranty's even off this one.
No, no, you're right.
I didn't say that. I just keep my mouth shut.
Well, I was called a cheapskate this week.
Any other questions?
That was the only reason they said that to you?
Pinky.
Chief Will.
All right, not a whole lot this month. We're getting a new access control system. That's that Gallagher system that Dr. Lee is helping to implement. So that's going to be all new badge readers throughout both buildings, including some of the new ones that we wanted at the elementary school. So for example, down there, the doors to the recess, both will be fobbed now, so the teachers can fob in and out. They won't have to be profit doors or anything. And along with that, that system will be able to expand in the future. So that's something that in the future we can tie in our camera system to it. So if something opens up when it shouldn't, it can alert me, and then it can pull up the camera, show exactly where that is. Just with the one we're getting with this, I'll have access to it on my cell phone. So I'll be able to run everything on there and see who's using what doors and when, lock them, unlock them remotely. And then I also already have the Protect system on my phone as well, that I can run that as well. So it's going to be really useful to upgrade that. You know, the one we have is pretty old. Along with that, we'll get new ID cards. So everyone will have the same fob on their card with their ID card. They'll be able to swipe up and do that. We'll be able to program what times and what doors they can come in and out. You know, we'll know who's here when. And the nice thing also is it's a newer technology, so it has a higher security layer. Because right now, the ones we have, they can be hacked. I've proven that it can. We've seen it. So the new one cannot be. And then we can also, we're going to have time to kind of move towards that new one, because this will still accept the old fobs until we actually issue the new one. So there won't be a lapse. We'll be able to issue these new ones to the staff as soon as they're ready, and they won't have any lapse. So overall, it's a really nice system. They're doing it right now. We're just waiting for more manpower from the company. I think next week, maybe.
Yeah, they had an emergency at the Indiana County Jail. They had to go service, so it took our programmers out all week. So we got mixed in the middle of our implementation or installation, I should say. So they'll be back here on Monday.
And then they'll start doing
finishing up.
Finishing it up. And the nice thing is the way it works, even while it's down, we'll still be able to, the secretaries will still be able to unlock and lock the doors to let people in. So it's not really going to affect anything as far as movement in the school.
We have a few officers leaving. Do we have enough?
I mean, I'm not during the day. I'm struggling with, you know, the way that everyone already has a full-time police job. So, you know, you're not going to be able to hire someone really full-time unless they're retired. Everyone else on board is working full-time somewhere else. So there's, I'm having problems getting them to, I'm begging, but they're only helping here and there when they can. The events though, where I'm doing pretty good with getting those covered between myself and a couple other officers are handling those. So that's going pretty well. But yeah, I mean, I'm open if you know any cops that are looking for a part-time job during the day.
Any questions for officers?
All right, so I had a nice little spreadsheet that my technology skills did not work so well. So I'm going to have Rob bring up this nice sheet, and this is what I was going to talk about. So every year since the 07-08 year, Department of Ed puts out a Penn data sheet. And that data really identifies for us what we are doing within special education within our district. And this is for every district, for every school across the Commonwealth. So I can look at all of Lawrence County and say, okay, are we disproportionate, or are we too high or too low in certain areas? In the 04-05 year last year, we had 120 special education students. Our average, our percentage of students is 11.9. If you look at the state average, they're at 20.7. It can be as high. I'm working and collaborating, mentoring a special ed director across the state, and their percentage of special education students in their district is 30%. And they only have as many students as we have. They're a very small district. It was unreal to me. If you look at the LEA, that's Laurel School District, in the state average, we want to be right around the state average. We don't want to be too high. We don't want to be too low. And we are consistently, with students with autism, right around the state average. We're at 16.7. Other health impairment, that's students with medical diagnosis, ADHD. We're at 17.5. The state is at 18.5. Specific learning disability is at 16.7. Speech language impairment is one that Laurel specifically has done a great job with over the last 5 years. That percentage has gone down about 6%. Just in the last 5 years. Lawrence County specifically, speech and language impairment is identified at 30% or more. We see a lot of expressive and receptive language disorders. We see a lot of articulation issues. Amber has done a wonderful job of doing MTSS, or precursor speech services. So she is working with students, just providing short-term intervention with them so that they are improving their articulation skills, or those expressive and receptive language skills, and do not need to be identified and go into long-term treatment. And that is huge. And Laurel is the only one in Lawrence County that has a percentage that is that low. And that is something I've looked at for years. So that's amazing. We then go over to this next section, and it's education in what's called the least restricted environment. And we always say, why are all special education students in our buildings all the time? Why does that have to be? Part is because the state says students have a right to a public education. The other part is they say that students need to be in the least restricted environment. So you can't pull a student out for math if they don't need math support, right? And so what we're looking at is Laurel's average of students in general education is 73.3%. So a student can be in up to 2 special education classes and still be what's called itinerant in a least restricted environment. Again, that's a big deal. When we have our special education audit, that's what they're looking at. They're looking at all of this data. They're also looking at making sure that we're not disproportionate in race and ethnicity, that we're not over-identifying students of different racial backgrounds. And because if we do, then they take about 15% of our funding and put it aside just for those kiddos. That's not the case here. So we really are doing a great job of maintaining, and have over the last 4 years of maintaining students in least restricted environment, keeping our numbers where they are, consistently not over-identifying students for special education, and providing services such as the core team at the elementary school and high school, and addressing problems before they even have to go into an MP. It's pretty impressive.
Any questions? This is great.
Okay.
The numbers of kids that have issues just boggles my mind. Every time you bring this up, it's just amazing.
And this does not include gifted students or 504 students. Right. This is just students with IEP.
So you identify this early in the elementary school, right?
They are. Amber is doing a really nice job of, so speech articulation is on a spectrum. So some students, like if they don't have the R sound, we'll use that as an example. Typically that's a later developing sound. So right around 2nd, 3rd grade, they should be saying the R. What Amber's doing is addressing some of those speech sounds earlier. And she has been doing even 5-minute sessions multiple times a week, and addressing that. And students are getting into speech and out of speech using MTSS real quick, and it's addressing it. And then they don't need to go in for 30-minute speech sessions weekly. It's really, it's definitely impressive.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
I put on here my, attendance averages. High school's around 96, elementary's 97. We are getting into that germ season where the kids are very good at sharing germs. And, the nurse has been busy. Went to court today, actually, found a family guilty, so, we should be getting some of that, fine from that. We're hoping to get the student back on track. They've been very truant the last 3 years. We did have that.
You can go further without denoting, you wouldn't pat yourself on the back. She does such a good job that the district magistrate is asking her to prepare training on administrators and
We had our Witness anti-bullying program with Sean Cannon that was in the paper quite a bit with all of the school districts. That was on October 14th. But what we did that day was we also turned that into our middle school house day. So we took that day for the 7th and 8th graders and made it very purposeful. They did activities throughout the day, and it was very nice for them. Elementary, we had our data meetings. On here, you'll see we had our National Honor Society. I have click to view. I put links on here, so it takes you straight to the YouTube channel. One thing that I did want to point out, and I had mentioned this also with senior night when we had our admin meeting, it was nice when for National Honor Society, the students that are getting inducted ask a teacher to come and pin them. That's special to them. Same with our seniors. They get their shirt to a teacher that has been an influence to them. And it was really nice to see the amount of elementary teachers that were participants in both of those. So for me, looking at it, it shows that we make an impact on our students, both in the elementary and the high school that it follows them. And it was a nice wide variety of representation of the whole district. Senior night, for volleyball and football, the football team's still going, and we did have our bonfire. Brought it back here onto campus. I thought it went pretty good. I always get nervous that we're gonna catch things on fire, but they always do an amazing job in Scott Township, and the other fire departments were invited to come, and the junior firemen had a great time trying to put it out afterwards. Friday we had our Halloween parade at the elementary school. It went pretty smooth. We very much enjoyed watching, especially like our big blow ups. We had a bunch of dinosaurs that I think saw them coming down the hallway. They were like bopping against each other. The stream team, I have to say, did an excellent job with the videos. So if you do get a chance, we viewed it. Was it over 500 views that we saw like on there? They added music to it and had some animation things. Monday was our patriotic tribute concert. That's always amazing. And there was not one empty parking spot in the front of the building. People were actually parked in the grass. And when you just walked in, and at the one number that they always do, where they honor every branch and people stand, that always is very moving and touching. I thought the elementary, middle, and high school all together sounded amazing for the choir and in the band. I have a little icon here, Laurel Bus Camp. If you look here, it's got some behaviors with the buses, especially the kindergarten first graders. It's new to them. They don't understand it. They've been in a seatbelt. Just kind of taking those kids. I started this little program. I'm going to take a couple kids once a week for 15 minutes during their recess, not the whole recess. We're going to go over some bus safety, do some videos, some activities. Officer Hoyland has offered to help me. Mr. Ford's going to bring a bus down so we can get on it. I think we just need to teach them, and hopefully that will kind of help alleviate some of our issues. Our Lowell Fall newsletter, I have on here that it's going to be in Saturday's paper. There's a correction to that. It's actually going to be in Friday's paper, and we had enough contributors writing articles that were going to be 3 pages long. So you can see everything that's happening here in the fall. And I believe that's it.
Any questions? Thank you. Mr. Stewart.
So yeah, last month we, beginning of the month, finished our first benchmarks and then had our data meetings that went really well. Always like those first data meetings. Believe it or not, we're already actually pushing into the second quarter. So quarter one report cards didn't go out, they were posted. We have our morning program up and running at the elementary school. We also have a morning mentoring program operating at the elementary school. Difference between the two, tutoring works on academic stuff. The mentoring program is a program for maybe kids that want to come in. We have some adults from the community that come in and work with the kids in the morning, maybe do work with them, maybe do schoolwork with them, maybe play games with them, just, giving them a mentor. We had our emergency drill. It went very well. Walter Williams was down there. Everything went smooth. We were able to go through every layer of that. Fourth grade ag encounter. They came up here at the fairground for that beginning of the month. Our kindergartners had their field trip to the Scott Township Fire Hall. And probably about 5 or 6 years ago, we changed that. They used to come here and do the program, but we've been taking the kids there. And it's a much better experience. They have a great time. They get to shoot fire hoses and try knock balls off a cone. They get to go in the fire trucks and they, of course, do their instructional piece to it too. But and this year was a little bit different because while they were there, we always wonder what would happen if they got called out. Well, they got called out while they were there. So the kids got to see the guys get ready and kind of scramble around. So it didn't end too early, but it was a good experience to see that happen too. And as Nicole mentioned, we had our Halloween party parade between the PTO, parents, everybody did a good job, and I think it went pretty smooth.
Any questions for Mr. Swerbush? Since we didn't make such a big stink about the Halloween party, I am glad to see you guys brought it back, and I think it's a nice job for the first year back. Thank you for that.
I heard all positive things.
I will say I didn't get one email, phone call, or anything negative. I was kind of waiting, but it didn't come. So,
And the flags, I asked Mr. Lake the other day, I think he said there was like 3,000.
Yeah, he put that in here. There was 3,000 this year. It's in his board report. Yeah.
Every one of them are associated with the name.
Yeah.
Impressive. It was nice. Thank you.
Never get bored of that annual activity.
Dr. Lee.
Just a couple things. I first want to speak to the Spark program. It's a professional learning community. It's 100% voluntary, and the goal will be to really share innovative practices. I don't want to say just AI, it could be anything. It could be leveraging open educational resources, just in finding quality vetted material and so forth. I just know in my travels, it's one of the things that I've run into. A lot of teachers are like, hey, I get to certain standards, they don't really, maybe not like the materials that we purchased. But there's a lot of other high quality vetted stuff that just to use to supplement. So that's one of the things. And really it's just an opportunity to grow professionally, all of us. So took some of the concepts I had from my doctoral courses and the classes that I taught and would follow that as well. So it's not just, hey, let's get together. There's actual agenda, time, activities, and so forth. So really, it's it's just one more thing to help us build upon our successes, right? We're doing a great job, but we could do better. And that's just another opportunity to try to refine. It's something that no one asked me to do. Just wanted to do because I saw the need. I had some people ask. I had my first meeting today, and no one showed. And that's okay. I told Mr. Rich, if only one person comes, I'll deal with that. And if no one comes, it's okay. I'm at least trying and I'm not giving up, right? So the goal is to build it small, slow, but to make it meaningful because it's a voluntary basis. So it will definitely be, and it could also be something like, hey, I don't know how to do this. But we can figure it out together if I don't know it. But it could be something that's like, hey, let's, how can I manipulate data in Google Sheets so I can see where my struggling students are. So a lot of different things. So doing it again next week. Hopefully someone shows up. If not, like I said, I'll be there every scheduled meeting. So our help tickets have gone down drastically as the the start is, we're well into our school year now. So we only had 100 tickets this last month. First response time was 4 hours, 14 minutes, and ticket resolution was 2 days and 32 minutes.
Any questions?
Yeah, AI is becoming a thing. What is, are we using it here, or what, is it gonna be involved in education? I would assume.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely, I mean, we have pockets of innovation happening all over the district. I mean, K through 12, we have people that are leveraging AI. We've had trainings last year. We have an AI committee. We'll be meeting again on this upcoming in-service day. So yeah, I mean, and what we did and what,
Give me an example, please.
oh, sure, I'll do better than that. I'll show you our AI hub so you can see what I'm talking about. 1 second.
So it's being used here some.
Oh, in tremendous ways. You know, and I think one of the things that's important, just because we say AI doesn't mean it's bad.
No, I'm
Right.
not saying.
What we need to do is teach our students and our teachers how to use it ethically, responsibly, and how to maximize it. And I tell anybody I speak to about artificial intelligence, if it's work, you're doing it wrong. Right? If it's making your life more difficult, you're doing it wrong. So this is a hub that we, created last year, that really, has so many different things. And I'm not going to go over everything, but I just want to show you there's a lot of different tools that we have that our teachers are exposed to. And then what we did is there's a content that's free, it's freemium. There's a lot of different things. I mean, music tools, image tools, math tools. And this is just a small list.
Yeah, I guess.
But one of the things we wanted to do is not say, hey, we're adopting this platform, right? So we wanted to expose our staff to a lot of different resources and see how that can fit within their teaching practice. So, I'm actually really proud of some of the stuff we're doing. Like I said, it's not perfect. We have a lot of areas where we can grow, but we have some teachers doing some really awesome stuff. And I gotta call them out. Our AI committee is very diverse. And the person I'm most excited about having, he's already doing really cool stuff, is Mr. Wasaki. And he was one of the first ones to sign up, and he was like, Rob, I was able to take X, Y, and Z, put it in ChatGPT, and I did this. I just was so happy. So it's very, very diverse. And the goal wasn't to become an expert, right? I don't know everything. The goal for us, it's another opportunity for us to learn from one another.
Okay, good.
Yeah, great question.
Anything else for you? Mrs. Cormier.
I sent out the audit early. We did a little better than expected, but still lost. So, the auditors will be here next week to go through a summary with all of us. I did put on the board docs information. The board summary is stuff later. This thing. It went pretty smoothly. I also was able to complete the financial report that was due Friday, and I submitted it Friday, but it got in, so that's done. And we move on to.
Any questions for Mrs. Cormier? Mr. Rich?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. I'll answer questions from the committee. I'll look at any agenda items. Approval of the minutes, the treasurer's report, investment report, list of general fund bills, food service bills. Item 9, personnel, retirements and resignations. Approve and accept the following retirements and resignations of Mr. Sean Hill, school police officer, resignation of Christopher Bates, school police officer, Mrs. Brooke Atkins, track coach, and Louis Pardo, head girls volleyball coach, effective November 1st. Any questions on item B, FMLA leave of absence for Mr. Dobbins back? There will always be one for Mrs. Rambo and Sherry Sidball. Any questions on? Item E, school bus instructor improved. Daryl Harding is a school bus instructor at a rate of $20 an hour when needed. This will be addition to his daily bus driver salary. This take over what you do, Joe? Then?
Yes. Daryl was a full-time bus driver we got up in the school year. He's been sitting in with me and stuff like that, and he wants to do it.
You could, be privileged as you are. See how many tries you Item F, professional development workshops. Ms. Amanda Long and Monica Rich to the virtual special ed curriculum training at TBD at the cost of the district of $798 for registration. Mr. Hoyland, municipal police training, North Park, December 2nd and 3rd, replacement for at no cost. District is replaced. The day isn't available. Any questions on item F? Item G, additions to volunteer and non-instructional substitute listed for the 25-26 school year. I believe you have those lists. Item 10, board action items, committee of the whole. Student teacher approved Matthew Shaner from Slippery Rock as a student teacher for Mrs. Nicoludis and Miss Barker from spring 2026. Any questions on A? Item B, student teachers from Westminster, Violet Kershik with Mr. Changway and Ms. Crossan, Alina Taladay, Mrs. Canciello and Mrs. Rich, Jess Vion with Ms. Latrina and Mrs. White. Any questions on item B? Item C, comprehensive children and family services incorporated agreement for the 25-26 school year. Questions on item C? Is there a question?
No, there is no cost with that. It's just, that's a wraparound agency that we currently work with. So it's just ensuring that we're working with them, they're working with us, and we're being collaborative. No cost.
Item D, outside placement. We will have an elementary student. We'll have that, I'm assuming, by
Yes, open by Friday.
Item F, cyber services agreement with Sunny Valley School District. This is for 5 years from 25-26 through 30 at the cost listed with.
It goes up a little bit each year, but this is the current service.
Questions on item F?
If they go to Pennsylvania, cyber checker and whatnot, Greg, yeah, that's somewhere around $13,000, $15,000. I'm a student on Edgenuity here, less than 5, 7 o'clock. So, like, let alone if you tag on the special ed DM at cyber. And one of the concerns I've always heard from people like Leghorn is it's like a progress monitor in cyber. So what the hell are they really getting that's any different than anybody else? Or we get them paid more for the same service. This budgeted past the number I hear that is going around is $8,000. But that hasn't been definitive yet. I'll definitely take 8 and 15, and I do think there needs to be accountability and special education charges. Some of the students do very well. She would have full-time employee, and we can also pay for individual courses. So some of our GIEP kids, what did the Discipline boy take last year? Cal BC.
Yeah.
Right, so, he took AP Cal BC through Edgenuity. There's a teacher of record, sketching them down, guidance conference room, producers course. I think he got a 5. Kids were fun.
Yeah. So we currently have 7 in our cyber academy. And we are paying for 14 out of district cyber ones at other places.
That's just at the high school, which is total around 30. Well, we're paid.
Can you say here that's the
Yes, cyber, reach,
CCA.
It's just extra courses like that, that's, do we pay for that?
Yes, so, through Edgenuity,
But it's through the.
it's through Edgenuity. So for example, another thing we can do while we don't need summer school in here is if they fail a course, they can put on credit recovery. Our summer school used to be a time issue. You had to put in so much time. Well, that just means you put in time. You shouldn't do anything. But with this Edgenuity, you can take any course on credit recovery. Let's say there's 18 modules. Well, any module, you get a 70% or better on that gets banked. You only have to do the portion of the course that you haven't demonstrated mastery on. So Edgenuity is good for competition against outside cybers. It's good for credit recovery, and it's also good for acceleration. We've had kids take Mandarin over years, yeah. Tons. We run our Edgenuity through Seneca Valley. The reason why we like that is they were on board many months before anybody else. But what I like about that is, like for example, Michael Henry, rural graduate, Shenango resident, is one of the teachers of record. Can talk to people. If we have a problem, we call the cyber principal, down there. So their customer service is
Item G is approved financial assistance for the district, $50 per student for those attending the Gettysburg trip. We have 56 students, which is it could be a pretty high number compared to normal years, which is good. Any questions on item G?
We are probably gonna have to take a school van too, because we'll fill up the charter bus and we'll have enough to fill another bus.
So Mr. DiBiase is like the Pied Piper. And I also gave him a compliment, and she might be, there only might be a few people in the city. Reminds me of Fred Tim. And, we've been around here forever and a day. Mr. Fred Tim was a teacher's teacher and all about the kids. I believe he was all involved in the foundation of the original travel club. And if you look through from the 60s into the 70s and even into the early 80s, he's had every extracurricular senior class advisor. So I just always remember Fred Tim as moral teacher and really defining what a moral teacher is. It's just a little bit with his mannerisms, a little bit with his energy, a little bit with his enthusiasm. Sean seems to really have stepped up into that image.
$610 for donuts. It's a lot of donuts.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
$72.
And bread, it's fried bread.
And item H is financial assistance for the $50 for the student per student for the band and choir students going to Orlando for the Disneyland. Any questions on item H?
We had our meeting, as you know, they were here to discuss, but I do want to, for behind this trip, for future trips, I would like this board to consider for conversation. I do believe there needs to be a max cost per student. We are going to have some kids struggle. We are going to have some kids rely heavily on fundraisers. This is this could easily become a have and have not situation. I have several concerns, and to keep something in mind, this group felt, and some of the predecessors of this group felt, that our DC trip got too expensive. So we made it a Gettysburg trip, which ironically, I think it was when we first started. In a similar vein, I think flying versus driving, although there's a degree of convenience, there's also a degree of cost. And, you know, I'm not convinced, professional opinion of one. I get no votes, as Mr. Hammerschmidt will tell you. But I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze on these trips. Why are we subsidizing, in my mind, subsidizing vacation? I know they play at some parks, but I'm pretty sure the park's making a profit on us playing down there. You know, we're not an invited concert band. So just for the future, before we're sitting here in another year or two talking about another trip, I think this is something we need to look at a cost not to exceed. So I'll think about your own family situations, maybe friends of yours, and you know, talk to those in the community, and perhaps Mr. Redfoot, at a time of further discussion, we might want to lay out some parameters relative to overnight trips, distance, cost, chaperones.
What is the cost per student?
It's over $1,000. It's $1,700.
Yeah, I've been waiting to hear some feedback from parents one way or the other, but nobody's really said anything to me, so I don't know. I mean, if it was my daughter going for $1,700, I'd be sure.
I think 85.
Right. What, and then again, so I know I used my own example as a Shenango parent. I had a softball player and a baseball player, so that's two of my three kids. So then to pack up the third one, certainly not, you know, so in addition to the 1,700 kid, you know, if parents are coming along, maybe some of them want to go, maybe others feel they need to go. Regardless, that's going to be thousands of dollars extra per person. And in some, I'm going to say it again, I only speak for myself on this, I have a problem with $100,000 of local money going to Orlando.
Yeah, it won't hurt to talk about. I mean, I think what we've been going by now is what we have done in the past. I mean, even the $50 thing, I remember when we put that in because it seemed like it was a debate. Everybody that went, it was a different amount, so we settled on 50. I mean,
And we've never raised it.
no.
I'm advocating for that.
No.
No, remember, I'm a cheapskate.
Well,
I'm upside down.
Taxpayers don't pay.
Well, they may need to find it in a public record. Is that what you're trying to say? Well, this is what I think, as an administrator, if we lay out parameters, then it's their job to find the trip within the parameter. I don't want to micromanage and tell them, no, here, go, when. But again, a board establishes policy, right? We execute the policy.
They don't get into the park free, correct?
For every so many trips, they get one free advisory trip, which again, I have a problem with. So let's say, I think the number is for every 25 you get one. 85 tells me 3. Well, before any adult gets a free trip, if that's 1,700, that's $5,100, right? Divided by 85 kids, you know, you could lower your cost per kid. So it's another problem I have with these free trips relative to the advisors. So, you know, I think that, and if you want to form a subcommittee and then maybe give us after some discussion, some parameters to follow, I think this administrative team could research practices from other school districts and we can come up with something that we're comfortable with. And every time this is brought up, I do harp a little bit about it, but I feel pretty strongly about it. Too much.
Okay, any other discussion on item H? Item I, approve the attached agreement with the PA Higher Education Assistance Agency to participate in the PA Student Teacher Support Program beginning with the 25-26 school year. What's that?
No, the state started that a couple years ago. They took all this
They have to be hired within 3 years in order to participate in school districts.
I think I've asked this question. So we require
We are not, and we don't take everyone. We do have some reservations about taking student teachers for trigger courses in the high school as well as for assessed areas in the elementary school. We also understand, like Mr. Swervely has advocated, well, he'd like to see what's coming, if there's any talent. As well. So, it's a balance. And another thing too, if we don't like somebody, I have no problem either not letting them in or telling them into bricks.
Well, I was just wondering, because I mean, you pay good money for teachers and you bring in somebody that's learning themselves.
And it's not like the old days where, the teacher went down to the lounge and smoked cigarettes and left the student teacher on their own. There's serious problems. You still have to be in the room with the student teacher. That's the law.
Any questions on item A or
So
item?
they don't get the stipend unless they, like, 3 years later, they get it.
So, no, they don't get the stipend unless they get hired full-time and participate in school. And they have 3 years to do that and qualify after 3 years, then that window closes.
I knew about the program, I didn't realize that
Yeah,
was.
it's a program to try to get more
Right.
teacher programs because they were all floundering. And actually, our own teachers could qualify for a stipend too. If the
Right.
student that they work for gets that stipend, but none of the money, it doesn't affect us. So the actual university funnels the money through FIA to our teachers, so it doesn't affect our PCers or anything when our teachers get
I
stipend.
just didn't realize that they then have to get a.
Yeah, they have to get a job.
Okay, item J, field trips. Mrs. Amanda Long, Jessica Miles to the junior high bocce team and to Shenango High School for the tournament, January 23rd, 2026, cost of district transportation, substitutes for Mrs. Long and Mrs. Miles. Item 2, Mrs. Amanda Long, Mrs. Jessica Miles, and approximately 30 life skills and coffee shop students to Cranax and Daphne's Candy for community-based instruction on November 17th, 2025, free transportation and substitute for Mrs. Miles. And item 3, Kaylin Collingwood and approximately 25 art students to Slippery Rock University, November 12th, for campus and art gallery tour to cost the district for transportation and substitute for Mrs. Collingwood. Any questions on item J? Any comments or questions relative to them?
We gotta bring that factory things to the factory they did with it.
Any new business? No, I would adjourn the meeting. Thanks everybody for coming out.